You are a forgotten pilot. You drift between the stars. The galaxy is a sea of wonders. But you are anchored to the past. Your home is a place you cannot go, a world you barely remember. It is called Earth. The rest of the galaxy calls it Sol 3. They also call it the Poison Tomb, the Forbidden World, the Great Mistake. An entire star system is locked away. It is surrounded by a quarantine, a wall of warships and sensor nets. This wall is called the Sol Blockade. It was built by the Vexian Ascendancy. They are the galaxy's self-appointed guardians. They tell you Earth is a graveyard, a testament to a reckless species. They say your ancestors broke their world. They poisoned the water and burned the sky. Now it is a radioactive wasteland, unfit for any life. That is the official story. It is the truth everyone accepts. You live on a station called Rust Point. It is a hollowed-out asteroid, a speck of dust in the terminus systems. This is the fringe, the ragged edge of civilized space. Here, fortunes are lost faster than they are made. Hope is the most expensive commodity. Your ship is docked in Bay 73. It is not much of a ship, more of a collection of spare parts flying in formation. You sit in a small cantina. The air smells of ozone and stale synthale. You stare into your drink. The amber liquid swirls. It reminds you of old stories. Tales of golden sun and blue skies. Stories your grandfather told you. He was one of the last to leave. He called Earth the Garden of Man. Not a tomb. But he is long gone. His stories are just echoes now. Fading whispers against the roar of the Ascendancy. You are a pilot without a destination, a warrior without a war. You once flew for a corporate fleet. You were good. Maybe even one of the best. But a mission went wrong. A scapegoat was needed. You fit the profile. Now you take small courier jobs. You haul spare parts and cheap goods. You move things between nameless rocks. Enough to pay for fuel. Enough to pay your docking fees. Enough to buy another drink. You watch the starships on the station's main view screen. Sleek Vexian cruisers glide past. Bulky freighter ships lumber toward the core worlds. They all fly free, while your heart is in a cage. A gilded cage that spans 1,000,000 stars, but a cage nonetheless. The longing is a physical ache, a constant pull toward a star you cannot see, just to know, just to see for yourself if the stories are true. Is it a garden or a grave? This question haunts your waking moments. It fuels your restless dreams. You are a child of Earth, a world you are forbidden to touch, and it is slowly breaking you. One cycle, the routine changes. A whisper finds you in the noise of Rust Point. It is not loud, it is barely a sound at all. Just a flicker of information, a ghost on the data streams. You first hear it from a Xylan trader, a four-armed being with eyes that have seen too much. He is haggling over power converters. He leans in close. His voice is a low rumble. He speaks of a new market, a shadow trade for the ultra-rich. They are not buying weapons or star science. They are not interested in alien artifacts. They want something older, something impossible. They want relics from the forbidden world, from Earth. You try to ask for more details. The Xylan just clicks his mandibles. He shakes his head and scurries away. He looks over his shoulder as if a phantom is following him. The encounter leaves a strange energy in the air. The seed of a dangerous idea is planted. Later, you hear it again. Two human prospectors in the cantina. They are drunk on cheap spirits. They talk in loud, foolish voices. They speak of a smuggler, a legend who tried to run the Sol blockade. The Vexian patrol caught him. They tore his ship apart with plasma fire. There was nothing left but dust. but they say he was carrying something. A single, small crate. The prospectors laugh about the smuggler's stupidity. But then one leans in. His voice drops to a conspiratorial whisper. He says the Vexian fleet logs were leaked. The crate's contents were listed. It was nothing special. Just a few kilograms of sterilized soil. Yet the bounty on that crate was astounding. More than the cost of a brand new warship. Soil, dirt. You almost laugh. The galaxy's elite are paying fortunes for dirt. It makes no sense. But the idea sticks with you. It buzzes in the back of your mind. A single crate. Worth more than a life of hauling scrap. More than you could ever earn legally. The risk is absolute. The reward is freedom. You start to dig. You ask careful questions. You bribe info brokers with your meager credits. Most tell you to forget it. They say it is a death wish. They tell you the soul blockade is not a fence. It is a meat grinder. No one gets in, no one gets out, ever. But you find a loose thread. A data ghost who owes you a favor. You ask him to search for one term, Earth cargo. The search takes 3 days. The ghost comes back with a single encrypted file. It contains no words, just a set of coordinates. And a time, a meeting. Someone knows you have been asking questions. Someone is reaching out. Your heart pounds in your chest. This is it. The point of no return. A whisper in the void has called your name. The coordinates lead you to the underside. The lowest level of Rust Point Station. Down here, the station's glamour fades. There are no bright lights or clean corridors. There are only leaking pipes and exposed conduits. The air is thick with the smell of decay. This is a place for things that are meant to be forgotten, including people. The meeting spot is an abandoned maintenance hub, a vast, dark chamber filled with silent machinery. A single light flickers overhead. It casts long, dancing shadows. You stand in the center of the room. Your hand rests on the grip of your sidearm. You are exposed, vulnerable. Every sound echoes in the cavernous space. The drip of water, the hum of distant life support, the beat of your own heart. You are not kept waiting long. A section of the far wall shimmers. It is not a door. It is a cloaking field. A figure steps through the shimmering air. It is tall and impossibly thin, wrapped in flowing gray robes. Its face is hidden by a polished chrome mask. The mask reflects the flickering light. It shows you a distorted version of yourself. The figure does not seem to walk. It glides over the metal floor. It makes no sound. It stops about 10 paces from you. A synthesized voice emerges from a hidden speaker. The voice is calm, neutral. It has no gender and no emotion. It is the voice of a machine. But the words it speaks are full of weight. You are the pilot, the voice states. It is not a question. You have been searching for a path to Sol 3. We have been searching for a pilot. You stay silent. You let the figure do the talking. You do not want to betray your own desperation. My employer is a collector of rare items, the voice continues. Things of unique historical and biological value. My employer desires one such item. An item that can only be found on Earth. The masked figure pauses. It lets the impossible nature of the request sink in. The task is simple in concept, the voice says. You will pilot your vessel into the Sol system. You will land on the planet. You will retrieve a designated sample. You will return to a rendezvous point. That is all? The simplicity is terrifying. It is like saying you just need to walk through a sun. You finally find your voice. The Sol blockade has a perfect record. No ship has ever breached it. The Ascendancy's record is based on known technologies. The synthesized voice replies. They watch for energy signatures they understand. They hunt for ships they can identify. Your ship must become a ghost. Invisible. Unknowable. We can provide the means for this transformation. A fortune. A life beyond your wildest dreams. Enough to buy a small moon if you wanted. Enough to disappear and never work again. Enough to build a new life. Far from the grime of Rust Point. Far from the memories of your failure. It is the ultimate gamble. Your life for a chance at a real future. The figure extends a slender, three-fingered hand. In its palm, a small data chip glows with a soft blue light. Your advance payment, for vessel upgrades and supplies. The rest will be transferred upon successful delivery. The amount of credits encoded on that chip would astound you. It is more money than you have seen in your entire life. Who is your employer? You ask. Your voice is steady, steadier than you feel. The chrome mask seems to stare right through you. You may call me the curator, the voice says. My employer's identity is not relevant. You need only concern yourself with the cargo and the payment. The offer hangs in the silent air. A life-changing fortune for one impossible delivery. It is a fool's errand. A suicide mission. But it is also the only path you can see. The only way out of the cage. You reach out. Your hand closes over the cold data chip. The deal is made. You meet the curator again. This time in the sterile void of deep space. Your small ship drifts beside the curator's cloaked vessel. It is a black knife against the stars. A ship with no lights and no registration. You communicate over a secure, one-time channel. The curator's synthesized voice is the only thing you hear. You expect to receive a complex mission briefing. Technical schematics for some lost technology. Coordinates to a hidden military bunker. The curator sends you a single file instead. It is a manifest. A description of the cargo you are to retrieve. You open the file. Your screen displays a single image. It is a standard biohazard containment crate. Nothing unusual. Then you read the description below the image. Contents: 500 kilograms of topsoil. Sourced from a specific, pre-designated temperate zone. Must contain native microbiome. Must be living, unsterilized. You read it again. And again. You are risking your life for dirt. 500 kilograms of common mud. You open the channel. This is a joke, you say. There has to be a mistake. Why would anyone pay this much for soil? The curator's voice returns without a pause. It is as calm and flat as ever. It is not a mistake. The price is correct. The cargo is correct. But it's just dirt, you insist. The absurdity of it all makes you want to laugh. Or scream. There are a million garden worlds in this galaxy. You can get soil anywhere. Clean soil. Without a death sentence attached. My employer is not interested in the soil of other worlds, the curator says. Those worlds are echoes. Copies. Earth is the source. The origin point. All terrestrial life in this quadrant of the galaxy traces its lineage back to that one planet. Its soil is not just dirt. It is a biological codex, a living library of Genesis. The explanation does not make you feel better, it makes you feel worse. The curator is not just a collector. Their employer is not just a rich eccentric. This is about something deeper, something you do not understand, something that feels dangerous in a way that warships and plasma cannons do not. The soil contains unique microorganisms, the curator continues. Bacteria, fungi, life forms that exist nowhere else. They evolved in harmony with that world. They are the key to its resilience. My employer believes they are the key to many other things as well. You look at the image of the crate again. It no longer looks like a simple box. It looks like a treasure chest. Or a Pandora's box. You are not smuggling dirt. You are smuggling the very essence of a world. The price of this dirt is not measured in credits alone. It is measured in the secrets it holds. The curator sends you another file. It contains the coordinates for the collection site. A quiet river valley, somewhere in what was once called the Northern Hemisphere. The file also contains a warning. The sample must be fresh. It must be living. Any attempt to sterilize it or replace it will be detected. You will be paid only for the genuine article. The channel closes. The curator's black ship shimmers and vanishes. You are alone again with your thoughts. And your mission. A mission that just became infinitely more complicated. You are a grave robber. But you are not stealing gold from a tomb. You are stealing the lifeblood from a world that the galaxy believes is already dead. You return to Rust Point Station. The credits from the curator burn a hole in your account. It is a staggering sum, an amount that draws attention. You have to be careful. You cannot just buy the best parts off the shelf. You need to be clever. You need to build a ghost. You stand in docking bay 73. You look at your ship, the Stardust Drifter. The name feels like a bad joke. It is a squat, ugly freighter, a Gozan-class light hauler. Its design is over a century old. The hull is a patchwork of mismatched plates. Some are gray and pitted. Others are stained with rust. It looks less like a starship and more like a landfill that learned how to fly. But it has good bones. The frame is solid. The reactor, while inefficient, is reliable. It is a ship that has survived. Just like you. You and the Drifter are two of a kind. Relics held together by stubbornness and a prayer. Now you have to turn this piece of junk into a phantom. A ship that can dance through the most advanced sensor net ever built. Your first stop is a scrapyard on the station's outer ring. It is run by a retired engineer, a woman named Alara. She is sharp and perpetually covered in grease. She has a reputation for being able to find any part for any price. You show her your ship. She walks around it once. She kicks one of the landing struts. "This thing is a classic," she says, wiping her hands on a rag. And by classic, I mean it belongs in a museum or an incinerator. I need to make it disappear, you tell her. Not literally. I need it to run cold. Silent. I need to fool Vexian sensors. Ilara raises an eyebrow. She lets out a low whistle. You're not asking for much, are you? Planning a little trip to the core worlds, are we? Or somewhere off limits? She does not press for details. On the fringe, you do not ask questions you do not want the answer to. The Vexian fleet looks for three things, she explains. Heat, energy, and mass. Mass is the hardest to hide. Your ship is a big chunk of metal. We cannot change that. But we can make it look like something else. A small asteroid, maybe. Space debris. What about heat and energy, you ask? That's where it gets expensive, she says with a grin. You need a network of thermal shunts to bleed your reactor's heat signature into shielded sinks, and a cascade baffler for the drive core to mask its energy output. And you will need a new navigation computer, one that can spoof your identity, make you look like 1,000 different ships at once. The list goes on. She talks about EM dampeners, gravitic cloaks, things you have only read about in spy novels, technology that is highly illegal and incredibly expensive. But you have the curator's credits. For the first time in a long time, money is not the object. Survival is. You spend the next few weeks turning the Stardust Drifter into a new machine. You work alongside Alara and her team of droids. You tear out old systems. You install new ones. The ship's guts are spread all over the docking bay floor. It is a chaotic, frantic process. You buy the thermal shunts from a black market dealer. They are salvaged from a wrecked military vessel. The Cascade baffler comes from a shady Ferrovian merchant. He assures you it fell off the back of a convoy. You do not ask. Alara builds the new navigation computer herself. She calls it the Liar's Box. She says it can convince a Vexian admiral that his own mother is a cargo drone. You hope she is right. Slowly, the drifter changes. The exterior is coated with a radar-absorbent polymer. It turns the hull a dull, non-reflective black. The engine ports are fitted with the new bafflers. They make the drive burn with a strange, flickering light. The ship does not look clean or new. It looks wrong, unnatural, like a shadow given physical form. You sit in the cockpit. The new systems hum around you. The old blinking lights are gone, replaced by sleek, silent displays. Your ship is no longer just a ship. It is a key, a weapon, a prayer cast in metal and wire. It is your only hope of surviving the wall. You know that even with the best technology, this mission is not a one-person job. The systems on your upgraded ship are complex. They require constant monitoring and adjustment. Flying through the Sol blockade will need more than a pilot. It will need a dedicated engineer to manage the ghost systems, and a tactical officer to watch for threats. You need a crew. But you cannot hire professionals. You cannot post a job on the station's network. The mission is too secret, too illegal. Anyone trustworthy would not take such a risk. Anyone who would take the risk cannot be trusted. You need a very specific kind of person. You need outcasts, ghosts like yourself, people with nothing left to lose. Your first recruit is the engineer who helped you rebuild your ship. Alara. You find her in her scrapyard. She's welding a support beam on a rusted freighter hull. Sparks fly around her. She does not stop working when you approach. The drifter is ready, you say. Your work was perfect. I know, she replies, flipping her welding mask up. Her face is smudged with soot. I built it. Now what's the big job? The one that needed all that ghost tech? You hesitate. Telling her the truth is a risk. She could report you. She could try to blackmail you. But you look at her, at the fierce intelligence in her eyes, at the way she treats machines with a kind of reverence. You decide to trust your gut. I'm going to Earth, you say. Alara freezes. The welding torch in her hand goes out. She stares at you. Her expression is a mixture of shock and disbelief. Then, a slow smile spreads across her face. You're completely insane, she says. I knew I liked you. I need an engineer, you tell her. Someone who knows those systems better than anyone. Someone who can keep us invisible when a Vexian battle group is breathing down our necks. This is a suicide run, she says, though there is excitement in her voice. The odds are 1,000 to 1 against us. So you're in? You ask. She laughs, a genuine, hearty laugh. Are you kidding? I've spent my whole life patching up other people's ships. The chance to be on a real adventure? To see the forbidden world with my own eyes? I wouldn't miss it for anything. Count me in. 1 ghost found. Now for the second. You need a tactical officer, a spotter, someone who can read sensor data and see threats before they materialize. You know just the person. His name is Jax, a disgraced naval officer from the Outer Rim Defense Fleet. He was drummed out for insubordination. He saw a pirate attack coming that his superiors missed. He broke the chain of command to save a civilian convoy. He was a hero for a day. Then he was a pariah. You find Jax in a low-gravity fighting pit. He is making a living as a pit fighter. He is fast and brutally efficient. But his eyes are empty. He is a man running from his past. You wait for him after his match. He is bruised and tired. I have a job offer, you say. It's a piloting contract. But I need a tactical specialist. I'm not a soldier anymore, he says, his voice rough. He does not look at you. He just stares at the floor. I know what they did to you, you say quietly. I know you were right. This is not a military job. It's the opposite of one. We're going where the fleet can't, where they say no one can go. That gets his attention. He looks up. His eyes are sharp. They scan you, analyzing you, the way a good tactical officer would. What's the target? He asks. Sol 3, you say. Jax does not laugh like Alara did. He does not even look surprised. He just nods slowly, as if he was expecting an answer just as crazy as that one. The blockade is a perfect system, he says. Layered sensor fields, overlapping patrol routes, a quantum entanglement comms network. It's a fortress. That's why I need you, you reply. I need someone who understands fortresses, someone who can find the cracks, the blind spots, the one tiny flaw that everyone else has missed. He is silent for a long moment. He looks at his bruised knuckles. He looks at the cheering crowd in the fighting pit. He looks at a future of pointless violence. Then he looks back at you. What's the ship, he asks. A modified Gozan-class hauler, you tell him. We call her the Stardust Drifter. A flicker of a smile crosses his lips. A rust bucket. Of course it is. All right, I'm in. It beats getting my face punched in for a living. And I always did want to see if the Ascendancy was as good as they say they are. Your crew is assembled. A mad engineer, a disgraced tactical genius. And you, the forgotten pilot. A crew of ghosts and a ghost ship. You gather on the bridge of the Drifter. The three of you stand in silence for a moment. The air is tense with unspoken hope and fear. You are about to attempt the impossible. You are about to punch a hole through the wall of history. The jump to the edge of the Sol system is tense. The Drifter shudders as it exits hyperspace. Out here, the stars are different. They are cold and sharp. In the distance, a single yellow star burns with a familiar light. Sol, the star of your ancestors. We're on the edge of the quarantine zone, Jax says. His voice is calm, all business. He is in his element. His fingers dance across the tactical display. The outer sensor perimeter is 500 million kilometers out. They'll be looking for standard FTL exit signatures. Alara, how are we looking? Liar's box is active. Alara replies from her engineering station. Our energy signature is a mess. We look like a cloud of charged dust. The heat sinks are absorbing everything. We're running cold. Colder than a Xylan's heart. You appreciate the attempted humor. All right, you say, your hands tight on the ship's controls. Let's begin. Take us in slow and steady, Jax. Find us a path. Jax nods. A three-dimensional map of the area appears on the main view screen. It is a web of red lines, the patrol routes of the Vexian fleet. It is an intricate, deadly dance. I see a gap, Jax says. A temporary hole in their coverage. Between Patrol Group, Sigma, and Patrol Group, Epsilon. It won't last long. We have to move now. Full power to the inertial dampeners, you order. Let's make this bucket glide. The Stardust Drifter slides forward. It moves without a sound. It is a speck of black against the infinite black of space. You pass the first line of sensors. A series of invisible tripwires that should have screamed your arrival to the entire fleet. Nothing happens. The bridge is silent. First gate is clear, Jax breathes. A bead of sweat rolls down his temple. They don't see us. The ghost systems are working. Alara lets out a whoop from her station. I told you, my baby is a true phantom. Your confidence grows. But you know the hardest part is yet to come. The outer perimeter is for catching civilian ships, lost explorers. The inner cordon is different. It is designed to stop a military invasion. It is watched by the fleet's capital ships, massive dreadnoughts named after Vexian virtues, the vigilance, the resolve, the dominion. You fly for hours, a slow, agonizing crawl through a minefield. Jax calls out course corrections. Ilara fine-tunes the power systems. She reroutes heat and energy. She makes the ship flicker and fade. You are the pilot. You execute their commands with precision. The three of you work in perfect sync, a well-oiled machine of desperation and skill. Then, you see it, a flash of light in the distance. Vexian ship, Jax says, his voice tight. Dreadnought class. It's the Vigilance. It's on a direct intercept course. How? You ask, your blood running cold. How did they see us? They didn't, Jax says, zooming in on the tactical display. It's on its standard patrol route. But its route is taking it right over us. We can't outrun it, and we can't change course without crossing another patrol's path. Can we hide? You ask. There's nowhere to hide out here, Jax replies. It's just empty space. He pauses. His eyes scan the map. Wait a minute. That's not true. Look, about 10,000 kilometers ahead, a debris field. You see it on the screen? A cluster of tumbling rocks and ice. The remains of an old comet. It's not much. But it is something. It's our only shot, you say. Alara, can you make us look like a rock? I can make us look like the prettiest rock in this whole system, she says. Her hands fly across her console, killing all non-essential systems, rerouting main power to the outer hull. I'm going to try to match the temperature and radiation profile of the surrounding debris. The ship's internal lights dim. The hum of the life support system drops to a whisper. You guide the drifter into the cloud of rock and ice. You find the largest asteroid in the cluster. You position your ship in its shadow. You kill the engines. Now, you just drift and wait. The Vigilance grows larger on your view screen. It is a mountain of gray metal, bristling with weapon emplacements. It glides past your hiding spot. It is so close you can see the individual lights on its hull. A ship that could erase you from existence with a single thought. It sweeps the area with its powerful sensors. Your heart feels like it is going to hammer its way out of your chest. On the tactical display, you see the sensor wave wash over you. A line of green light that passes right through your position and keeps on going. It saw you, but it registered you as a cold, lifeless piece of rock. The Vexian dreadnought continues on its path. It shrinks in the distance. Soon, it is just another point of light. Then, it is gone. The silence on the bridge is broken by three people letting out a breath they did not realize they were holding. You made it. You punched through the unbreachable wall. Ahead of you, a small blue marble hangs in the blackness, growing larger with every passing moment. Earth, the garden of man. You are home.